Hey, what's up, Triple P Nation? This week's episode is brought to you by Triple P Life Nutrition, helping you optimize your health and performance.
Welcome
to the age of awakening.
Please identify yourself. Enter.
What's up, Triple P Nation? Welcome back to the podcast, where this week we're going to explore the tools, tactics, and strategies to help you achieve personal and business mastery. I'm your host, Dr. Jay LaGuardia, and welcome back. The Triple P Life podcast mission is about helping you, entrepreneurs and professionals, to learn and grow in the four key areas of life, which is mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, so you can live, of course, say it with me, your Triple P life. And once again, each show, we start out with our Success Snack feature of the week. And this one is entitled, If You Struggle with Work-Life Balance, I've got a solution for you. You see, if you struggle mentally to just kind of check out from your business, check out from your family, check out whatever you need to just kind of disconnect, you're going to want to listen to this. Because while you may be physically in the room, here's the deal. When you're not totally checked out, you're still present and you're never clocked out from work. And it's only going to lead to more and more burnout. So I wanted to share with you a really quick exercise that you could do before you leave for work or for a holiday. It really doesn't matter. And what you're going to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to do what's called a brain dump. I want you to write down everything and anything that comes to mind. And it doesn't really have to make any sense. Don't put any extra thought to it. Just whatever comes to mind, I want you to write it down. Just get it all out. Put it down on paper. And then, here's the magic. I want you to crumple that piece of paper up and toss it and put it in the garbage. Now, sometimes all you need to do to get those pressing thoughts out of your head is just put it down on paper. Because this is going to help you clear your mind so that you can enjoy your time when you're with your family or when you're working on your hobbies or your fitness, whatever the case may be. So you can be present. The more present you are, the more magical life is. So if you want an extra layer of help, delete all your work apps off your phone until you return to work on Monday. Whatever emergency, guys, whatever fear, whatever might pop up, probably isn't as pressing as you think it may be. So just focus on spending more time this week with your family and be present. Now, this week's episode is about how to break habits and create lasting change. In the journey towards personal development and self-mastery, the challenge for most of us is breaking the old habits and really creating more lasting new ones, and change is a theme that surfaces time and time again. You see, the common thread? It's an expressed desire to overcome habits that seem unbreakable, despite no matter how hard you repeat efforts to change them. Now, the conventional approach to helping you break or change habits, often it emphasizes on, do you have the willpower? Do you have the discipline? And it's the attempting to intentionally stop any perceived undesirable behaviors, right? We know it's there. We just say, I just need a little bit more willpower. I need to show some discipline. But here's the deal, man. In my experience, I believe there to be a key dimension to this process that is often overlooked, and yet one that can be pivotal in your journey towards self-mastery. And that's what this whole program and mission, this podcast is helping you achieve personal self-mastery. So here it is. I want you to listen to this. And if you can, write this down. Here it is. Every decision you make is based on what you believe, both consciously and unconsciously. This is either going to give you the greatest advantage or disadvantage at that moment in time. Now, let me repeat that. Every decision you make is based on what you believe consciously or unconsciously. And that's either going to give you an advantage or disadvantage at that moment in time on the decision of whether to engage or not. So when someone tells me, Jay, I need to break this habit, I'm likely to think of two things. Number one, encourage you to look at the words that you're using, because we become predictive of our results based on the words we use, such as should, must, try, need to. These are referred to as imperative language. Now, you will most likely use imperative language when you try to inject the values of someone you look up to into your own life. In other words, you're experiencing internal conflict between what you actually want and what you are spontaneously inspired to do. You see, you develop your expertise in your own highest values, not someone else, and what you think you should or need to be doing. Again, not someone else. Now, here's the second thing. I often prompt the people I work with to probe deeper beneath the surface by asking them, hey, what are the benefits that you may gain from engaging in this habit? Because really, consciously or unconsciously, you perceive some benefit, right? More than a disadvantage, or you wouldn't be doing that behavior. Now, here's what I want you to know. This can be challenging for people because we've bought into this story that we're powerless in the face of temptation, in the face of weakness, of our times of being undisciplined, when we're experiencing procrastination, or we're just not motivated. Hearing that we are more likely to continue with an old habit because that habit is serving us in a way can be a lot really to wrap our heads around. See, in my case, I'm asked, why is it so difficult to adopt my morning routine? And I'm like, well, you know that most successful people have some time in the morning where they prepare their mindset and they practice these success habits because they know as they work on themselves and as they grow, so does every area of their life. But for this one person in particular who said to me, you know, hey, Jay, I know I need to. And when I do, I see differences in my life, but I just can't seem to develop the habit and stay consistent. So you can imagine they're surprised when I tell them the reason most people are unable to develop their morning routine is because they have low self-worth or self-esteem. Yeah, it's true. You see, inherently, they don't believe they deserve success in their lives. So in their case, their advantage subconsciously is they believe it is better not to try and not find out than do and confirm their belief. It's really crazy. And as I dig even deeper and further by asking more clarifying questions, I come to find out that anytime they've made a life-altering decision to change and adopt new behaviors, they've ultimately failed. It's not uncommon. It really isn't. But here's the thing. It's not that they've tried and failed, because we all do. That's just a reality. The real reason is they tried, failed, and yet asked the question, why did I fail, and what's the lesson do I need to learn? See, that's the question we need to ask. Why did I fail, and what's the lesson I need to learn? So what I did next was ask her this question. What benefit did you get out of not adopting your morning habit? You know already, right, that this has helped you. So what perceived advantage did you get by not adopting it? And there was a long pause, which made me think that this was likely the first time anyone ever asked her a question similar to this. So after further contemplation, eventually she said to me that she couldn't think of a single benefit, that she desperately needed my help because she knows that unless she made and added and adopted some of these better habits and routines, that she was doomed for a life of regret, shame, and unhappiness. So again, I asked her, hold yourself accountable. What are the benefits you're getting out of not adopting the habit you know already that has helped you? Once again, a long pause, and she gave more thought. And finally, she replied that most of her family thought ultra-successful people were unethical, selfish, and just generally not nice people. And she didn't want her family to think that she was the same way. You see, now, finally, we were getting to the underlying core belief and why she was experiencing poor self-worth. So I asked her, do you believe all successful people are bad people? Immediately, she said to me, no, I don't. She said, because she helps out with charities and she's seen how generous people can be with their wealth. And then I asked her, can you tell me what would be some benefits if you were successful and wealthy? She paused and thought again. She said, well, I can give to charities. I can help people in need. I can do more for them. I said, well, what else? And she said, well, I can help my parents as they get older to live a better life, pay for their health care. I can pay for my kids to go to a good college. I can start my own charity. I can start a business. I can take a vacation, go around the world. And she kept going on and on and on. You see, this was really a life-transforming moment for her, because when she recognized that she had no real intention to ever adopt her morning routine, as her actions were driven by these unconscious motives, this realization prompted her to explore alternative ways for her to achieve those same benefits without worrying about what her family would think of her. This approach helped her adopt some new behaviors and habits that now started to align with her highest values. See, I'd love to use this example to illustrate what I believe to be a profound truth. Every habit, no matter how detrimental you perceive it to be on the surface, serves as a conscious or unconscious purpose. Now, let me repeat that. The habit that you may find challenging to break most likely meets a need or fulfills a desire, often linked to our deepest fears and insecurities or unmet needs. Now, does she really not want to be successful? Of course not. The underlying issue was the family and how she felt her family was going to, or what she felt her family was going to think about her. You see, acknowledging this doesn't mean condoning the behavior, but rather it's bringing it to the surface so we can understand it more deeply. The path to lasting change, therefore, guys, involves not just stopping any unwanted behavior, but also the discovery of the alternative behaviors that can fulfill the same unconscious needs in a healthy and viable way. So instead of viewing them solely as behaviors to be eradicated or discarded, it is wise to see them as indicators of deeper needs and drives. Now, this involves taking a deep dive into your core values, getting clear on what intrinsically drives you. You know, I've talked about core values so many times on this podcast. It's at the core essential element for a business or individual to know who you are, what you're about, and what you should be pursuing. So therefore, then you can identify the benefits and then provide viable alternatives that align with your unique set of highest values. And then the probability of adopting new congruent and viable behaviors significantly begins to increase. So let me sum it up. When you express the desire to break a habit, it's really, really smart, guys, to recognize that at some level, the habit that you're engaging, even if you know it's not one that's positive for you, you have some perceived benefit than a drawback. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. You see, a powerful key to changing or modifying behaviors lies in stacking up new associations. That's aligning the advantages of a new desired behavior against the disadvantages of the current assumed to be unwanted habit. So, to instigate lasting transformation, it's really wise to find alternative ways to meet these needs. These are ways that are aligned with your highest values and priorities. So, for example, during a session with you, the process would go through, we would look something like this. First, we would identify your unconscious motives and understand the benefits you're getting from the current behaviors that you're engaging in. The next thing we would do is seek alternative methods to achieve those same benefits. And then we will follow it up by stacking up the advantages of those viable alternatives until they outweigh the benefits of your current behaviors. And then we would assess the drawbacks of the behavior you want to change, emphasizing them until they become associated with pain and while associating pleasure with the alternative. Here's the thing. This is all based in science, and it's called neuroplasticity. This is our intentional rewiring of our brain by forming new associations and altering synaptic pathways. Guys, it is also wise to have a compelling reason for change. As I often say, when your why is strong enough, the how naturally follows. The opposite also tends to apply. If you don't have a significant reason for breaking a habit or changing a particular behavior, this may really hinder your ability to do so. And as such, attempting to change your habits may be met with internal resistance. Not from a lack of consciously wanting to change, but instead from the true drivers of your unconscious behaviors. So let me sum this up. If you want to break and quit and change the old habits, behaviors that are not serving you, then I want you to follow these 7 steps below, right? That I'm going to lay out for you on how you can become a master at changing old habits, behaviors. So here we go. Number 1, acknowledge the hidden benefits. I want you to recognize every habit likely serves a purpose, providing benefits that you may not immediately be obvious to you. It's on the subconscious or the unconscious level. Number 2, uncover those conscious motives. I want you to delve deep to uncover those unconscious reasons behind the persistent habits to understand their true role in your life and why you're choosing to do so. Number 3, I want you to identify alternatives. I want you to identify new behaviors that can fulfill the same needs or offer similar benefits without the perceived drawbacks of the current old habit. 4, it's time to create new associations. I want you to use the power of conditioned reflexes to associate new behaviors with the benefits. That's the pleasure. And the old habits with the drawbacks, such as the pain. And 5, align actions with your values. Ensure that your actions and the changes you would love to make are congruent with a unique set of highest values and not someone else's. 6, I want you to embrace self-discovery. View the journey of the habit as the opportunity for self-discovery, growth, and transformation. And then finally, 7, I want you to seek meaningful engagement. Fill your life with high priority, inspiring activities to reduce low priority distractions. As we master our mind, we begin to master our life. You see, no matter how hard you try to empower your life, you're going to likely still feel frustrated by your perceived lack of progress and achievement. And if you're unaware of your own highest values, good luck, because you're going to keep trying to live by someone else's standards, someone else's values. You must set and clarify your values. Your set of values influence every aspect of your perceptions, decisions, and actions. And the decisions you're making right now are based on your values, even if you don't have them defined, because they inherent within us. But we need to define them, put them on paper, prioritize them, and assess how congruently we're living with those highest values. So Triple P Nation, changing old habits, I understand. It's hard, but I just gave it a blueprint how to do it. If you follow this 7-step blueprint, you can change any habit, any behavior. And I guarantee you, because I have them too, we have certain habits and behaviors that are no longer serving us, that are holding us back from living our best life, that are affecting our health, our mindset, our relationships, our finances, our businesses. And we need to be aware and conscious of them, identify them, and take it through the 7-step process. And I guarantee you, you will then have the tools necessary to effectively become a master of adopting new habits and behaviors and leaving the old ones behind, the ones that are holding you back. So here's what I want to know. I want you to put this process into play. Email me, drjay at Triple P Life. Tell me about a habit or behavior that you apply this process to that you're beginning to see changes in your life. Or if you have further questions, email me, right? I respond to all of them and I'll get back to you. And if you have questions about the content or more, if you need a further distinction of any of the 7 steps, I can help you with that as well too. Because I'm here. That's what I do, right? Even though this is a monologue, I feel like I'm having a dialogue. We're having a conversation together. It's you and I hanging out, having a cup of coffee, just shooting the shit, having a good time, helping each other, inspiring each other, empowering each other with great information that makes each one of our lives better. That's what I love about each member of this community, of the Triple P Life community, Triple P Nation. Love each and every one of you. So, as I always say, you be you, just be the best you, and I promise you will always power your dreams, ignite your passion, and accelerate your prosperity. Until next week, guys, be well.